We're out here in the pass. We're going to be doing some tarpon fishing today on an outgoing tide. We've got a good crab flush going. It's a full moon. I'll show you guys how we hook these real quick. You can grab your crab. We got a little spot here on the edge of the shell that you're starting a new spot. I'd already started one. We're just going to get the point of the hook started in there. We're going to just kind of carve it out back and forth, back and forth. You don't want to pop it through, else the hook won't really thread on there. You just slowly work it back and forth like that. You can throw this right in the wind. Throw it as hard as you possibly can. You're going to have a hard time throwing that off the hook. Go to our leader. We've got about a 6-foot section, a 60-pound leader. That 8-aught, 2 blades and below. Just turning the boat off and just drifting with your crab. This is a free spool, so you're sitting in the tide like this. You're gonna just feed off line. You don't want to stop it at all. You want it to be a natural presentation where it's kind of drifting out with the tide. I like to use big bobbers, bright colors, so you can keep a good eye on it. A lot of the times the tarpon will crush these crabs and you'll see it. You'll see a pretty good sized explosion on top of the water, but occasionally they will just kind of pull it down nice and slow, so you definitely want to keep your eye on that float. Start driving. Yeah, start driving.
Going where?
Alright, neutral.
It is.
Hey guys, it's Dylan from Fishing Fools. Just got back from a tarpon trip. Wanted to do a quick tackle breakdown for you guys in that current scenario where we were fishing a inlet or a pass on an outgoing tide, fishing live crabs. So my basic setup for that is this 10,000 size Shimano Sustain on an 8-foot extra heavy spinning rod. I like the 8-foot rod because you can cast it a really far away if you got fish rolling. We did a lot of just drift fishing. I do typically like to keep this as my tarpon combo regardless. Whether I'm running the beach first thing in the morning, this is definitely where this rod's gonna come in handy, but it also can double in the pass as you're drift fishing. You don't really need to cast very far when you're drift fishing. You're really just throwing it out the side of the boat and just drifting with that current. Yeah, we were able to get a fish The first video was actually the afternoon previous to the one where we caught the fish. I kind of gave you guys a breakdown on how I like to hook a crab, my rig. I'll double back on that. So in that scenario, I like to use 60-pound leader, probably a 6-foot section in the pass. If I'm running the beaches first thing in the morning, those fish might be a little more skittish, they're a little more spaced out, they're in shallower water. I like to do probably a 10-foot to 12-foot section, still keeping it at 60-pound. Fluorocarbon is what I'll usually throw in the pass when they're fired up and eating those crabs like that. I'll use mono, it doesn't really matter. My hook, I'll go down to probably a 6-7 if I'm running the beach first thing in the morning. In the previous scenario in the pass, I'll use an 8-9 hook. I know they're coming up there, they're gonna crush that crab. The water's dirty, you got a big outgoing tide. They're not gonna be leader shy, they're not gonna be hook shy. Following day, we went back, we had better weather. Tide was still ripping out. When I do that pass fishing, I like to do it around the big outgoing tides, around the new and the full moon. This was actually on a full moon. You get those big, in our area, we get, you know, a typical tide could be anywhere from 1.5 to 2 feet on a normal moon phase. When you get that full moon or that new moon, you might get 3.5 feet of moving water. So I believe that day we were, I think at 3.3 feet was the high at about 4 o'clock. Probably 10 or 11 p.m. was the low at -0.5 foot. So you figure you had over 3.5 feet of moving water. That outgoing tide flushes all those crabs out of the pass, out of the, you know, back country, and those tarpon, they're honed in on it. They're ready. They do it every summer. They'll get all in your passes, at least in Florida, and they anticipate that crab flush. So we did get a few bites. I got a good hook into one of them and was able to land it. It was probably a, you know, 70, 80-pound fish. Alright guys, that pretty much wraps up our tarpon video. Tackle breakdown. If you guys got any comments, any questions about anything, if you're curious, no question is stupid. So definitely reach out to me to help you out, give you any answers, any tips that can help you catch more fish. We did all start not knowing what we were doing. Yeah, till then, I'll be posting a new video probably early next week. So you guys keep posted, get subscribed, and I'll keep the videos coming. See you next time.
Yeah, buddy. Big ol'